No, and then he said, do it. Money makes the world go round.
Yeah.
But honestly, money is worth nothing.
Sure.
It's absolutely meaningless.
Legacy planning or lifestyle design? Scene one, take one. Although we only have one scene. Scene one, take one. Hey family, welcome to Conversations with E. My name is Eva Makova. Thank you so much for joining us again. I am incredibly excited and just overwhelmed with joy and deeply honored to have Kerstin Engler with me here today. If many of you are here asking, okay, who is this woman and what are we doing here? I am here to share that she is just, I think, the most incredible human being with the most wonderful, deep expertise and knowledge on wealth and financial management. And she's just doing incredible work, not just in her business, but in being able to share all her knowledge of finances with us, and particularly with women. And I just thought, who better than you to have on the show to really just like share a little bit of wisdom around the whole concept of money, because money is um, it's such a sensitive but real topic, because at the end of the day, money makes the world go round. That being said, before we get into that, I really want us to get to know a little bit about who you are. Who is Kerstin? Kerstin, tell us, who is Kerstin?
Thank you, Ethel. Thank you very much for having me. I'm really honored to be on your show and a bit excited as well, a bit nervous. But to start, so who am I? I'm obviously a woman. I come from Switzerland. I'm a wife. I'm a daughter. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm not a mother, so this never happened in my life. I'm a very curious person. I've always been. I think this is also what describes my career, if I would say so, pretty well, because I always tried things which never happened before. So this is basically the red thread in my life. Yes, and I work in finance for more than 25 years.
Wow.
Now. Yeah.
25
Yeah,
years.
and I never wanted to work there.
Wow. So
Yeah.
you didn't want to work
No.
there, but you landed 25 years there.
Yeah, so I wanted, after finishing school, I wanted to study architecture, and I said to my dad, so I want now to study architecture, and he said, look, I don't really see you like being super talented, but okay, we do a deal. And I said, okay, the deal is the following: you do an apprenticeship in a bank, and then when this is finished, you can study as long as it takes and wherever you want to study, and just go ahead. So
Okay.
and then I did an apprenticeship in a bank, and kind of, I would not even say that I fell in love with the bank. But that just then life continues,
Yeah.
how it goes. I got a job after apprenticeship was done. I studied beside working. There are those in Germany, they have this opportunities. Yeah, and here I am.
So tell me, your dad says, you say, okay, I want to get into architecture. And he's like, don't think it's quite for you. Do you think it was just because he thought you weren't as creative, or do you think a large part of it was because you were a girl?
No, I believe his motivation was more like every young girl thinks, like when you study marketing or architecture, you will do these great campaigns and design those amazing houses, and at the end you end up in the municipality designing the sidewalks. So he wanted perhaps that I have a bit of a reality check, because when you're 18, balanced, you believe, oh, that's exactly what I will do, all this villa, so I don't know what. And I believe that with this apprenticeship and working in the real world for 3 years, because that's what you do then during this time, you understand that marketing, for example, is also not as fancy as it sounds. And then I said, okay, I still like three-dimensional things. I love art, I love to look at it, but perhaps it was a good choice not to do it.
Not to do it. Well, clearly, 25 years later, you're still here. So it was a nudge and a push in the right direction, you would say.
Yeah, I made it. I made it my career, I would say.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. So
Yeah.
you chose to make it. You made
Yes.
that decision.
Yeah. I was always choosing the things I was interested in. You know, in a bank, in finance, there's so many departments and so
Yeah.
many ways you can go. And I was in human resources, in business development. And for the past 20 years, I'm working directly with clients, so with families, helping them to think about their wealth, to protect it, to invest it. Because as you said, you know, money makes the world go round.
Yeah.
But honestly, money is worth nothing
Sure.
because it's only a token against something.
Sure.
So, and I strongly believe if people don't understand for what it stands, then it's absolutely meaningless.
Wow. Wow. Sure. We've already gotten words of wisdom right there. And so, okay, now we've got the bank apprenticeship. Where do you start? Which sector? Like you said, there's so many different sectors in finance. What was I mean, you mentioned you've been in HR, you've been in business development, but what was the hops? How did it start and how did it transition?
You know, my hopes, they did not happen because of me. I got married when I was 24. And then my husband was he worked for Mercedes, you know, the car
Yes.
manufacturer. I'm from Stuttgart, and he got a transfer to Greece. So basically, I was the wife of moving with my husband to Greece, and
Follow
then
hubby.
and exactly, and then I had to reinvent myself
Sure.
again in Greece. I learned Greek. I worked in telecommunications in Greece. This has nothing to do with finance, but we only stayed for 4 years.
Yeah.
And then he got a transfer to Switzerland. So again, here I was, the wife off, no job, nothing. And um, then I called a friend and I said, look, I need a job. And he said, what do you know? I said, I speak Greek and I worked in a bank. I said, okay, there's somebody, send your CV. And then I had a conversation. They hired me at UBS, the biggest
Yes.
wealth manager of the world. And yeah, and then it started. So I started as an assistant
Wow.
of a client advisor, and then after a while they said, "But you know much more. You're more talented than what you're doing now. Do you
Yes.
want to do business development?" And then I did this, and then again, and then the next thing was, I I got a call. I remember like today. I was sitting in Venice with my husband, and the gentleman from the bank called and said a person resigned and there are all these clients and we need a client advisor for these clients, and do you want to do it? And because now we need somebody and you speak Greek, you can explain it to them. Okay, I said, well, one moment. I hang up. I said to my husband, you know, they want me to do this job.
Yeah.
I've never done it before. I have no clue. The only thing I know is I speak Greek. Okay. I learned in the bank, but you know, really working with clients, I
Yes.
never have done
You've
before.
never done before.
No, and then he said, "Do it." And then I
Sure.
called back and I said, "Okay, I do it." And this is how my whole career kind of went on.
Yes.
So then there was the next thing. Then they called me in 2012 and said, "Do you want to lead the team for Sub-Saharan Africa?"
Yes.
And I was, yes, I didn't want anything more than that because I was in love with the continent since I was a small child. And and then I started, yeah. So I just tried. I think I was never afraid. I was
Afraid.
more like super. Let's say it. All these things, the unknown,
Yeah.
is something which motivates me a lot.
I think, Kirsten, you've touched on a couple of really important and significant touch points. So, for those of you who do not know, we are actually sitting in Cape Town, South Africa, in a beautiful hot sunny day. So, we are melting. But we're in Cape Town, South Africa. You mentioned, obviously, you've always been in love with the continent. And I think that speaks to, even now, the fact that you are here in South Africa. Just backtracking to, when you got the offer, like, hey, you speak Greek, we've got this role and we need someone right now. It reminded me of something that she said a couple of weeks ago at one of the sessions that we had with the girls. You said that women in general, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember word for word, but when they are, and she gave a statistic, it was like a ridiculously high stat, way above 80. when they are applying for something and they're looking through the list of requirements and they do not fill those requirements, they are most likely to actually back off and not even bother applying. Whereas men, when they see something, even if they don't tick all the boxes, even if they tick one box or are not completely qualified, they jump for it, which I think obviously has a direct impact on growth, positions, level of jobs, or how you climb, or even being an entrepreneur if you feel like I'm not adequate enough to do something. Yeah, can you just share a little bit about that and the stat and your framing around that?
So it's statistically proven that women take a job when they meet 80% of the requirements.
Sure.
So men much lower. So I don't know the percentage, but this leads to the fact that often women don't apply for a job, or they don't even try to apply because they believe, I don't tick all those boxes. And I have to say, now in my career, women were always equally treated. It were often the women who pulled out of something.
Wow.
So also when I was looking in my team for employees, and then I had an idea to create this position, and I was asking some ladies, I said, do you want to do it? And they said, yeah, I'm not so sure. But I said, but do you understand what I want? You know, so just even if you don't know, but for me, that somebody wants is more important than somebody has the skills.
Yes.
Because it's a matter of mindset.
Yeah.
And so I find it a bit, it's a bit frustrating, and also a bit, it makes me sad when they don't try. And I believe they would get all the support if they would just try.
If they would just try.
Yeah.
So linking it back to you, I'm going to put you in a little bit of a corner. If you were not married, or if you didn't have your husband back then and you got that opportunity, and if you did not have the chance to say, babe, this role has come, do you think I should take it? And if he didn't say, do it, do you think you would have taken it?
I think yes.
You think yes?
Yeah.
That it's just in
Yeah.
you. You're a
Yeah,
go-getter.
Yeah, I know. I would. I think.
Go-getter by nature.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't try, you don't know.
Yeah.
This. If you don't try, I mean, who do you know? And I mentored a lot of girls, I still do, and then they tell me, my career path, and should I go this way or that way? And I said, if you don't know, just try something. And I believe it's also very good experience to say this was not for me.
Yes.
To have this experience, to do something which you don't like.
Yes.
Because then you can say, okay, it's not for me.
It's not for me.
Then most probably, wrong turn, you can do something else.
Yeah.
But not trying is not an option.
Oh, I love that. Not trying is not an option. It's not an option.
No, not
you
in
can
my
do
life.
anything else but try.
Yes.
But not try.
Exactly. Go for it.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So then you pick up this job and you get into it, and you start building, learning, getting into understanding the value of money, what you can do with it. I believe you've worked with families and individuals around financial health, financial literacy, and just building wealth. What would you say to, I mean, I don't know our viewers, we don't really know their financial context, but where do we start? What is money? And how do you start to understand that concept? I mean, yeah.
I would say you understand it because when you work, you have your first job, in return for your work, you receive money. That's the exchange. So in former times, you received perhaps something to eat, or there was different. Now you receive this money. Good, you then exchange the money for a house, for something to eat, for your lifestyle, and so on. So, but there might be a point in time where there is money left over. So then you have the chance to, from your, I call it always like your active bucket of your life, which is your income, and then what you spend to survive. You can create another bucket which works for you, because money is the only thing which works 365 days a year.
A year.
So you have to put this to work. Not to put money to work is a sure loss, because inflation eats the value of money, and this goes fast. So I believe for a first-time investor, they should start slowly building the second bucket, this 365 working bucket.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can either say, okay, I take the leftovers of my monthly income and put it in this bucket, or you say the more clever way or the more disciplined way is you take every month before you start spending a certain amount, put it in the passive
The
bucket
passive bucket.
and start investing it and put the money to work.
And in a context when I say I don't have leftover, then how do I start?
Then you know it's difficult to start
Mm.
then because you need to start with
Something.
like something.
Yeah.
So then you have to see either you have to cut your cost, or you have to find another job where you have this opportunity to have a leftover to build the second bucket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it common, just out of curiosity, in Switzerland to have multiple jobs, or one or two jobs? I'm just thinking, in America, for example, it's super common for people to have 2, 3 jobs.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think in South Africa if it is. I think in South Africa, people will have one job, but often do lots of side hustles. So that you might have your day job or your weekly job,
Yeah.
but do something in the evenings or do something on the weekends.
So in Switzerland, people don't have 2 jobs
Okay.
usually, but it's
Just
also
out of
a
curiosity,
bit.
if you want to know
Yeah.
how many jobs
Yeah.
people have in Switzerland.
Yeah, it's also a bit of another economy in
Yeah.
the country.
Yes, of course, it's different.
It's also we nearly have no unemployment.
Yeah.
So it's.
And on that note, on another country, what's your take on Africa? So please share the journey, how you landed here. What drew you first to Africa? And I say Africa because Kerstin hasn't just been to South Africa, and she hasn't just been to Cape Town. She's actually pretty well traveled and knowledgeable on the African continent.
It started when I was a small child. I hate flying and planes, so I'm very much afraid of it. And but I always said, on this one flight I would go, the flight where I can see Table Mountain. And I was, when I was a small child, I don't know, my parents told me always I was speaking about this Table Mountain
Oh,
without
bless you.
knowing, most probably really knowing how far it is. And then in 2004 was the first time I came here. My husband was attending a conference, so I joined. I took this long ride on this plane. I will never forget when you cross the equator and it goes like a bit bumpy. But I made it, and since then I came back so many times. And then when the job offer came related to Africa, I think this was just a destiny. And I went to Nigeria. I was in Lagos. I was in Abuja. I was in Accra. I climbed Kilimanjaro. I in sub-Saharan Africa, I've seen a lot, and
Yeah.
I'm. I was once in Asia in my life for my honeymoon.
Yeah.
I never went back. And I was twice in the United States. I was in Latin America a bit, but Africa, it's I don't know. I feel
home.
very much connected to
Yeah.
the continent.
It's home.
Yeah.
And so, is it fair to ask you what's your favorite African country?
South Africa.
Ah.
I can't say anything else.
And city, Cape Town.
Cape Town.
Of course.
Yeah.
You've got to be in Cape Town.
Yeah.
You've got to be in Cape Town. And so what's your thoughts then and view? And of course, it's difficult to give an overall view for the whole continent and for all the various different countries and cities. Because I know, for example, sub-Saharan Africa is very different to North and Eastern or even Western Nigeria. But maybe let's focus on sub-Saharan Africa. From what you've experienced and seen, what do you then think is the future for the majority of the various different populations in terms of how people think about money and wealth and growing and investing? Is there opportunities to learn? Do you think our challenges like unemployment are too big to start? I don't know. Like what? Just where does how does it look like from
the outside? I think the African continent, as everybody knows or sees, is still challenging. Has this challenging situation that a lot of the population is not participating in the economy, and there's too much unemployment in most of the countries, which then also has it's a whole ripple effect you don't collect enough taxes, and the social security system is not running smoothly.
Yeah.
So it's not so easy for everybody to participate.
Yeah.
When I now look into the financial sector now about investing, and I look at South Africa solely because other countries are not that developed. The South African financial sector is very well developed. It works very well, I believe. The banks are high class banks. What I see also, South Africans like investing a lot in the stock market, so they are pretty risk on, I would say. But what I see is the banks are very much like a product selling.
Yeah.
So rather than
product selling.
advising what is important, because I always compare it. My job is like if I would be like a guide somewhere. You're out in the street and somebody comes and tells me, "Show me the way to." And then it's like when clients come to me, and then they always come, "Show me the way to," or "Is this a good product? Is this a good investment?"
Yes.
It can't start there.
Yeah.
Because if I don't know where you want to go, I cannot tell you which route you should take.
Yes.
At the same in investing, I cannot give advice when I don't know where the client wants to go.
Yes.
And this is so important. I cannot sell a product to a client just for the sake of selling the product.
Yeah.
Because then it's wrong.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I believe there people get overexcited about opportunities. South Africans also tend to be a bit opportunistic in investing, like here and there, and make a profit and so on. So not that long-term view, which would be beneficial. But I think that's what we try also to change with our little group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of little group, didn't actually do this formal intro at the beginning, but Kerstin is the managing and founding partner of Amana Family Office. And they do really incredible work advising and taking care of families and individuals on building financial wealth, investing, and all of those things. Maybe tell us a little bit about that, about the work that Amana is doing.
Yeah, so Tim, my business partner, and I, we left the bank because we said, just to illustrate the situation, when you're in a bank, you have a shelf, so you can sell what you have on the shelf. Then you have a client in front of you, and then after a while you realize, actually, this client would need something else. You don't have it on the shelf.
You don't have it on the shelf.
And then we said, okay, we need to switch sides. So we need to sit on the side of the table where the client sits, and then get the client what the client needs.
Yes.
Because there are different banks outside, and there are accountants, there are lawyers, and we know the whole landscape. We have been working there for so many years. And then we said, why don't we just monetize our network and our knowledge and help the clients to get the best of everything? And this is what Amana does. So we are on the journey with our client, long-term journey, helping them also in transition to the next generation, so that the money doesn't get lost, and also that the purpose of the wealth they have created is clear, and that we are working towards this target, and not just opportunistically from investment to investment.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. And that it lives.
Exactly.
And lives long.
Lives
and grows.
And grows, yeah.
And grows and grows and grows. As a woman,
yeah,
I have learned so much. I want to speak a little bit about just the incredible initiative that you're doing. So, as I shared, that Kerstin is the managing and founding partner for Amana Health. Not Amana Health, although it's financial health.
Yeah.
Amana Family Office. But you just give and dedicate of your time and knowledge to a project that you've termed Demystifying Investing. Tell us a little bit about that. I'll share that it's a program, I guess, for women to partake and join and learn about. It's in the name, right? Demystifying. So not making it this whole mystical and far-fetched, not reachable concept of investing for women. And it's incredible because I know Kerstin won't blow her own trumpet, so I will do it for her. She does it completely free of charge. She just gives her time, her effort, her knowledge. She puts together the most beautiful books and decks, and we do activities and exercises where she breaks down the concept of money, of saving, and then most importantly of investing, and the various different steps and what investing looks like, whether it's in stocks or real estate, impact investing. I mean, it's been the most, I think, impactful and prolific program that definitely I, as a woman and as a young lady who's still growing and learning about money, it's been really powerful. So I just want to share just a little bit about the program and why why you started that, and just the whole concept of it, because you really get nothing out of it except hopefully one day great stories from us that Kerstin changed my life and I've built my wealth bucket.
Yeah, it started. It's one of those accidents in my life. A lady approached me, a young lady, and said, I would like to invest. I have done some investments. Can you have a look at it? And then we had a chat, and then I said, you know what? Don't you have some friends who have the same questions? We
Yes.
could gather them, and I can explain you a bit what it's all about, and what you should watch out for, and what you should not be doing, and what you should be doing.
Yeah.
We had a first roundtable last year in April, and I was sitting there. I still remember at Szymanski. They were very kind, offered their museum, so we had the tour, looked at the diamonds, and then we're sitting there, and everybody got very excited. And when the first session was over, then they said, "So when is the next?" I was, I wasn't
What?
because for me it was more like
Just a once off.
this ends here, and then. Okay, we did a second online about asset classes to say what are bonds, what are shares, what is ETF, what is a fund, what is a house, and so on. And then suddenly I get a call from a mother of one of the young ladies and said, "We want the same."
Oh my
I said,
gosh.
"Okay, good." And I said, "Back to square one." I started with the mothers.
Yes.
I
Oh,
call
so you've
them.
done the daughters and the mothers now.
Yeah, they are mothers and daughters together. So now,
Oh,
and then I merged
merge the
merged
groups.
the groups,
Yes.
and then I thought, okay, I said from the beginning, I will not drive this.
Yeah.
This is a participant-driven initiative. Then I put out a WhatsApp group, where we have the polls, and people can say what they like to hear or what they're interested in. Yeah, and now we see how it goes. I'm open to it, but I believe it's a mutual process.
Yes.
Because then participants also come and they say we can do it at my house, we can do it in a gallery, or wherever, because we always need a location. And I believe it's better than when I go out there and say this is the program, please come. So it's more, and you see it now. We always have like 15 to 20 participants out of the crowd, and it carries on as long as it carries on, and I also don't take it personally when people are no more interested in, because then they have learned enough. And no, I like it, and I like, for me, um, whether this is for free or not for free, I believe for me, I get so much out of it, just in terms of the feedback of the participants. And also, we forget, when you're an industry expert, you forget where everybody stands, and you lose them on the way. And for me, it's a very good reality check.
A reminder.
Yeah.
And speaking of you being an industry expert, and you touched on, you won't mind if if it dissolves because we've known enough. Do you think you know enough? Do you think you know it all, or are you still learning?
No, we are all the time learning, because
25 years in, you're still learning.
no, and circumstances change, and also life changes. You look at finance different when you're 50, when you are 20. Because finance, you have always to put it on a timeline. Money has to last at least for your lifetime or beyond. It's not something which is in this very moment. It's also in this very moment, but when you invest on a timeline. Yeah, and also investments, like crypto didn't exist. I mean, when I started in the bank, we had typewriters.
That is mad.
We had terminals.
Typewriters.
Yeah.
What? I don't think I've
in
ever worked
87.
on one.
In 87.
Wow.
And we had terminals at the cashier desk. There
Yeah.
were no personal computers, and also technology has has transformed the financial sector. Look at the credit cards. You tap your phone, or all these payment flows,
Yeah.
and I think it's still evolving. So we have all to keep up.
Everybody's got to keep up. We've all got to learn. Something that you touched on in one of these sessions, again, you touch on a lot of things, so I learn a lot. But you mentioned that, again, I'm speaking from, a female point of view, that with all these changes and technology advances, there's also another change and a shift that's happening where wealth is shifting to the female hand. Tell us a little bit more about that. What does that look like? I'm very excited as a woman. I'm like, yes, it can shift to me, darling. Come, money cometh my way. But what did you actually mean by that phrase, and what does that look like?
So the group of heirs now who will basically receive the money from their parents when they're no more there is 50% male and 50% female.
Okay.
So only through this transition to the next generation of
Yes.
wealth, there are many more females, or money will land in hand of
Okay.
females. Then also females live longer. So this, statistically, you cannot say at the end all money will be in the hand of women and the world will
Yeah.
only be women. But then when men pass away, then it will again land in female hands.
Yes.
So there's an overproportionate amount of wealth in female hands, whereas and it's not because women make a career and are more also making their own money. This is the third reason for it, but it's the inheritance and it's the living longer and the career, and so women are very important, play a very important role in the investing world, and they're different. They're different investors. So
do tell. What do you mean by they're different investors?
they're better. Their
Okay.
performance is better than the male performance. It's also proven because they research a bit more.
Okay.
What they do, they hold on to things longer. They're not as opportunistic. Not this I buy, I sell, I buy, I sell. This is
Okay.
when you lose a lot of money. They also look into more for investments which are sustainable, or into
Yes.
companies where they believe that they live longer. And yeah, they're more patient in general as
Okay.
investors, which is very important to be a successful investor,
Yeah.
to be patient. Yeah, and the only mistake they make, and that's a big mistake actually, they don't get started. They just don't get started.
Sure.
They are so afraid of getting started that they rather don't start, and that's not a
Wow.
good. It's not good
Sure. So the only thing we should do
to
is
get started.
just get started.
Yeah, get started. I mean, when you have a surplus of money, at least put it on deposit.
Yeah.
Like here in South Africa, you get like 6-7% on a deposit or in rand.
Wow.
So why should the money sit there and earn nothing?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Just and then go to your bank and inquire the possibilities. The bankers should be in a position to explain, and if this person is not in the position to explain it, then it's not the right person.
Then it's not the right person.
Then it's not about you. It's about the person
Them.
who cannot explain it.
Sure. That's so good. So good. So just get started and keep asking the right questions. Keep asking the right questions. Keep finding people to answer your questions, right?
Yeah. And this also goes back to what I said in the beginning. Just try.
Yeah.
Just try. Don't be shy.
Don't be shy.
What can you lose? I mean, you cannot be in a worse position than in this moment when you tried.
Yeah. When I quote that, just try, don't be shy. I love that. So before we wrap up, I have a couple of interesting questions I would like to ask you. They're meant to be fun, so nothing crazy.
Nothing crazy.
Nothing
I'm ready.
crazy. Just a little bit of. Let's see.
So
I think we'll start from easy and then go a little bit more complex. So we're going to play not a game, but like a little pick this or that. So it's either A or B. Okay. And then if you want to elaborate a little bit more about why you chose A or B, then you do. Okay. So the first one, financial peace of mind or financial growth?
Growth.
Okay. Teach kids to earn or teach kids to invest?
First, they have to earn
Sure.
before they can invest. Both.
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 But that's a
Am
good
I
point.
allowed?
First they have to earn
Yeah,
before they
yeah,
invest,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's fair. That's a great answer. Legacy planning or lifestyle design?
And now you're asking the wrong person. Because people who know me, they know that I have a bit of a weakness for lifestyle. I perhaps I personally I don't know whether now I have to leave a big legacy behind. I rather try to do the best while I'm here
Mhm.
on this planet. I don't need a bronze plate on a building to say that I was here
Yeah.
at one point in time.
Okay. Okay. So is that lifestyle design?
Yeah, I would say just make an impact on while I'm here.
Okay. Okay. Money or joy?
Joy.
Joy any day.
Joy, yeah, yeah, very clear. Money is only a token for joy and everything.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah,
you shared
yeah,
that just before we started. Security or freedom?
freedom.
Okay. Luxury splurge versus a smart save?
A very unfair question. I'm not a big saver.
I mean, I would love to be a smart save, but I think I lean more towards a luxury splurge
Yeah.
if I had to be honest.
You know, you have to do the safe bit to do the other thing. Otherwise, it will not. It can't work.
Oh gosh.
But I would not be the one who would then say, you know, if I like something and love something, then
Yeah.
I would rather get it than
Then save it.
than save.
Yeah.
Save if I can afford it. Yeah.
Okay. And if you can't afford it,
No,
would you
no,
splurge?
then I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
I splurge. But this is why I'm talking to you, right? This is exactly why I'm talking to you. Spreadsheet or vision board?
A vision board.
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
I'm very visual. I was a spreadsheet. I'm a disaster. I'm an Excel disaster.
Oh, fab. Budgeting app or a handwritten notebook?
Handwritten notebook.
Okay. I must say, I want to be a handwritten notebook, and I am a handwritten notebook. But when I just start doing my life and things, I end up just like using I'm heavily reliant on my banking app, and they've got all these little tools and things in there. So then I start leaning towards a budgeting app. But in my heart, I want to be a handwritten notebook. And then I have to play catch up in my handwritten notebook, which is so strange. Okay. Stocks or real estate?
Stocks.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? Just out of curiosity.
Real estate is, if honest calculations about real estate will make clear that it's a very costly investment.
Okay.
It can be good, and I think we will touch upon it in our next session.
Yes.
But you know, sometimes people are not really honest what it means to maintain real estate.
Yes.
You know, so stocks are much easier.
Okay. That's good to know. Dividends or growth?
Growth.
Okay. Last one. It's not that bad. It's okay. Data driven decisions or gut instinct?
Gut instinct.
Really?
Yeah.
Gut instinct.
Yeah. Always.
Always.
I find the data later then. You know, with my business partner, then sometimes he says, "But why are we doing this now?" Now I had the feeling we should do this, and then he says, and then I try to find some proof of concept. Say, look, this is why we are doing this now.
Okay, gut instinct. I'll remember that. Thank you so much, Kerstin.
Thank
So
you,
just
Ethel.
before we close off, I just want to ask you your final words. Just your final words. Like, what do you want to say? I know what I took away from this, which was that don't be shy, just try. But those are great final words. But
These are actually, I don't believe there are any final words from me needed. You said it all.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you. No,
thank
but thank
you.
you for joining. I really
Thank you, Ethel.
appreciated your time, and thank you for all the work that you do, and thank you for teaching us and teaching me. I'm a huge beneficiary of what she does, just love and devotion to teaching us, and hopefully one day I'll have a great story to tell you, and I can show you my wealth buckets.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ethel. Thank you for
everybody.
having me.
Thank you for
Thank
joining.
you, everybody.
Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and if you have any interesting or dodgy financial habits, please be sure to share in the comments. And if anyone is interested in finding out more about the Demystifying Investments program and group that we're in, please reach out to us on Conversations with E, and we'll be more than happy to share those details. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks, Kerstin. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh, I hit you.
No, it's okay. That was